So Robert De Niro got hired by the Biden campaign to go give a speech outside of Donald Trump's courthouse yesterday. No kidding.
You can see why. He does great.
So I just want to remind you, he does great. Wait till I'm going to show you his speech, but I want to remind you the kind of divisive motherfucker. Oh, bleep that for the video. The divisive kind of guy that he is. He, again, like I've told people like Cenk Uygur, people like Keith Olbermann, people like Robert De Niro are Donald Trump. The idea that they have of Donald Trump is who they are, and they project it onto him. Watch this.
I'm going to say one thing. Fuck Trump.
So I thought we were supposed to be the reason why they hate Donald Trump is because he's so crude and he demeans the presidency. And this guy comes out in a tuxedo and the whole of Hollywood cheers. They all cheer, saying that about the president. The president.
We did it.
It's no longer down with Trump. It's fuck Trump.
Wait, are we going to have intercourse with him?
And the whole place. So now do you understand that is there to divide the country? And so here they sent him down, and here's him again. Is he elevated the? He is the thing he claims Trump to be. Wait. Here it is again. Watch this.
Democrats, you are gangsters. You are gangsters.
So he goes down there. He was a representative of the Biden campaign. He's there at the behest of the president of the United States, and he starts screaming at other voters and citizens, telling them "fuck you." Hang on. Do I have this? Where?
All right, come to Steph while he's looking for them right now. Kenneth, thank you, Kenneth. Kyle, have you spoken to NJF? The Uden rabbit hole is 6 gorillion feet deep. Kyle, thank you. 86.7, did all Liberty crew agree it wasn't an accident? Spooky Spoon.
Okay, come to me.
All right, back to Jimmy.
So some Trump supporters start heckling him, and this is how he handles the heckle.
You are gangsters. You are gangsters.
What a complete inversion of society.
You're nobody. Your movie sucks.
His movies don't suck. What are you talking about? He sucks at being a political spokesman. That's all. What do you want? The guy's being blackmailed by the Illuminati. That's why he's down there. So you want to see some of his. This is him showing up. And by the way, he's with these 2 January 6 cop liars. So these are 2. I think that guy's running for office. These guys are liars. And watch what he does.
Thank you. I mean, this is really, even these people over here are it's kind of crazy.
So you hear those people already, they start saying F you. They're screaming at him, right? De Niro.
Who's that guy behind him with the tattoos?
So that's a January 6 cop.
Does he have fake
and he has tattoos all
tattoos?
Over. So Robert De Niro's there who, by the way, on television said F Trump, fuck Trump at the top of his lungs, said it twice to everybody in the world on a camera, but he's getting heckled by people in the street, and somehow they're wrong. They're the people who are the dregs. They're the gutter people, not him. Watch.
Thank you. I mean, this is really, even these people over here are kind of...
They're doing what I did at the Academy Awards. They're not supposed to do that. They're not to do on the street what I did at the Academy Awards, are they?
Well, more people probably saw the street one than watched the Tonys.
Is that, I don't know, was that the Academy Awards?
It's kind of crazy.
He says it everywhere.
It's really crazy, and this thing, Donald Trump has created this. He should be telling them not to do this.
The irony of that he should be telling those people not to do what I did at the Tony Awards or the Academy. I think that was
the Tonys. It says
he should be telling people to not do what I did at an award show
and the Apple Awards. All the awards, I said it.
He should be telling people Really? The president of the United States should be telling people to not do what you did at an award show on television?
Yes. It's okay for me to say that to
It's
the
okay
president.
for me to say that about the president. It's not okay for regular people to say that about an actor.
I'm an actor. One of the greatest gangster actors of all time.
Do you now get the Jungian psychology that I've been telling you about? This is him all projecting. He hates those people because they're doing the exact thing he did on television at an award show to the president. They're not even doing that to the Joe Biden. They're doing that to an actor.
But he's just he wants to sow total he wants to sow total chaos, which he's succeeding in some areas and places to do. Anyway, beside all that, this is my neighborhood, downtown New York City. I grew up here and feel at home in these streets. I feel comfortable. The Twin Towers fell just over here, just over there. This part of the city was like a ghost town, but we vowed we would not allow terrorists to change our way of life. And we started the Tribeca Festival to bring people back. I love this city. I love this city. I don't want to destroy it.
I just hate those people who are also in this city right now who don't agree with me.
We promised that we wouldn't change us after 9/11. You mean when everything changed?
When everything changed. When we gave away all our rights.
And they go, 9/11 changed everything. They used to say that over and over.
That's what they said.
Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world.
And what is that based on? Again, he's just making it up. It's the open border policy that your own mayor says is unsustainable now in New York City. That's so if you're talking about wrecking the city, that's not Donald Trump's policy. By the way, Joe, and it's just, here we go. None of it makes sense.
We vowed we
well, let him do it first.
Not allow terrorists.
This is speech.
I owe this city a lot. And that's why it's so weird that Donald Trump is just across the street. Because he doesn't belong in my city.
What?
I don't know where he...
Donald Trump's from... They loved him when he built the ice skating rink. You remember that?
It doesn't...
They loved it.
Surely he belongs more than the foreign investment that we also allow in the city.
That's right.
A guy from there.
Nobody could get that ice rink built. And Donald Trump did. They all loved him. They gave him a television show for 10 years.
It was called Get Out of My City with Robert.
But he surely doesn't belong here. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot. A two-bit playboy lying his way into the tabloids, pretending to be a spokesperson for himself.
So he's now denigrated him as a real estate charlatan and a two-bit playboy. I'm going to show you in a second that this guy...
That's above an actor, by the way.
This guy is got caught up in a prostitution ring. Remember that?
Well, that's...
With child pedophiles. And he...
Yeah, he was questioned for 9 hours.
Also, on his construction projects, he got picketed by the union because he was using scabs. So everything he says about Donald Trump, that's who he is. It's called projection. And that's why it stimulates him so much, because he hates it so much, because he's hating the part of himself that's in his unconscious.
Well, that and becoming an asset after that investigation, I think.
Yes.
Because once you get caught, the whole thing, remember we learned from P. Diddy and Playboy Mansion and Epstein, you get caught at a party doing something you shouldn't have done, and then you have to serve the system when you're called upon to do it. And here he's doing. So that, I'll bet you, there's just a bet. I can't say for sure. Oh, if Trump gets in, he's going to come after me. He's going to come after everyone.
That's right.
And we go, why would he come after you?
Why would he come after you?
Oh.
I just think I think this is the worst cold read of actors of Forgiven
I've ever seen.
That's a fair point. 100%. He's done better work with that. Yeah.
Calling it as himself for himself, to fool the press into inflating his net worth. A clown. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city. It's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that.
What?
Anyway, we
He
make
got
room
script.
for clowns, to each his own. But no one takes him or took him really seriously. They take him seriously now, of course.
No one took him seriously. They just put him on every late night talk show, let him host Saturday Night Live, gave him his own network television show for over a decade, Emmy nominations. But nobody took him seriously.
And now he's the biggest threat in the entire universe.
But
Also,
nobody took him.
there's nothing more of a threat to us than him.
That's right.
The thing that what are you talking about?
But around the country, people who didn't know him, as we did, started to support him. They bought into his bullshit.
He really
Trump
gets thrown by
bought their votes
hecklers.
with outrageous lies and empty promises.
Like Biden.
He got the most religious evangelicals to applaud a sinner who bragged about sexual assault. And just a couple of blocks from here, a jury found him liable for sexual abuse.
What?
Somehow, he even got self-styled patriots to support a man who called for terminating the Constitution, and on January 6th, rallied an angry mob to threaten democracy, leaving death and destruction in its wake. That's why I needed to be involved and wanted to be involved in the new Biden-Harris ad, because it shows the violence of Trump and reminds...
You know, those people are literally doing a genocide right now.
Look at his handlers. Look at it. Suge Knight and the other guy with the devil tattoo. Look how they're like, this isn't working. Look at their face.
I know.
When he checked his notes when he goes, bloodshed, what?
They're literally on the side of people committing a genocide right now. You know that, right? So they try to make a moral play. I mean, he's there at the behest of Joe Biden. Joe Biden asked him, his campaign asked him to do this.
A decent man.
That he'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed. But it's a coward's violence. You think Trump ever threw a punch himself? Or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside? No way. He doesn't get blood on his hands. No, he doesn't. He directs the mob to do his dirty work for him by making a suggestion.
Literally, while Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are funding a genocide, and another one in another slaughter of the Ukrainian people, and blowing up this is just
inference. And his gang grovels and follows his obvious order. It's no surprise that the murder rate and other violent crimes peaked under Trump and are falling under Biden. And now he's promising to use our own military to attack U.S. citizens. That's the tyrant. That's the tyrant he's telling us he'll be. And believe me, he means it.
They're literally attacking peaceful protesters right down the street from you at the college. Go to Columbia. They're literally attacking peaceful protesters right now. The people who are protesting Joe Biden's violence and slaughter of children and women. They're using the government to go, and Joe Biden doesn't get any blood on his hands. This is remarkable.
He's doing an ad read. He's doing the bullet points of the ad.
Yes.
The ad copy.
When Trump ran in 2016, it was like a joke. This buffoon running for president. No, never could happen. We'd forgotten the lessons of history that showed us other clowns who weren't taken seriously until they became vicious.
You mean like George Bush? You mean like George Bush?
With Trump, we have a second chance. And no one is laughing now. This is the time to stop him by voting him out once and for all. We don't want to wake up after the election saying, what, again? My God, what the hell have we done? We can't have that happen again.
The way I woke
Yesterday
up with a
was
dead
Memorial
prostitute.
Day. It's a good time to reflect on how Americans fought and died so that we may enjoy the freedoms guaranteed to us by a democratic government. A government that, as President Lincoln said, of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
It did. It did decades and decades ago because your country's been bought by corporations, which is why they're cracking the heads of peaceful protesters just blocks away from where you're giving this speech.
Those are people. Those are the people, not you.
Yeah,
dipshit.
those
Not
are the
you and
people.
Look at these awesome feds behind them.
I know.
They're like partners. They've been through a lot of shit together, and now this. They got a babysit.
Under Trump, this kind of government will perish from the earth.
They're gonna be drinking all
I don't mean
tonight.
to scare you. No, wait. Maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye
Freedoms.
that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done.
He was already president for 4 years. We still have all these freedoms. In fact, he left the White House. We always still have elections.
But not before the sunset on noon, or whatever the fuck.
He gets in. I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave.
Like Hillary?
I didn't know the president just gets to stay in office if he. So every president who ever left, they just did it because they were nice.
And the military has to obey him if he says, I'm taking over.
Like this, they just who does this work on? This is so desperate. This just reeks of desperation.
You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving?
So then somebody puts off their car alarm, which is funny. So now for the rest of the speech, there's a car alarm going off. And
I hope he closes by saying, and bring back Kevin Spacey.
and he's and he says they'll never leave. He already left. He's not president right now. Joe Biden is.
Yeah.
What is this?
You
This
know who
is
never
all.
left?
This is all
Hillary.
like
Hillary never left.
Hillary never left.
She keeps showing
I'm
up. somewhere.
dictator for life.
Again, I didn't know that the president, if he wanted to, could just appoint himself dictator for life.
Yeah.
So we've all just had good luck that all the other presidents decided not to do that.
Yeah, don't
or do
say
we
it
have
and
a
give him the idea.
Or do we have a constitution and a balance of power?
He's going to get the idea to stay for life.
They're
He
giving
didn't
it to
think
him.
Yeah, he didn't think of it last time.
Oh,
I hope this new ad campaign reaches outside the bubble to remind supporters of what a danger he is to our lives. This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president.
you believe it?
Really.
Really?
We don't have a choice.
That's
On
the
January 6th, while Republican lawmakers despicably tried to keep the loser Trump, in the White House, and Trump-inspired insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, brave men and women from law enforcement put their lives on the line to defend this country.
So he's talking about these people behind him, and then someone's going to say, "No, those people lied under oath." Watch this.
Our democracy.
By the way, I've invited this guy on the show.
I was going to ask, because
I've invited this guy on the show a couple weeks ago. He's not coming.
This looks like a Malox commercial. Like it's going to cut to the big guy.
Yeah.
When his stomach is up, his tum-tum's upset while this is going poorly.
They are the true heroes. These guys are the true heroes. They stood,
Look at him.
put their lives on the line for these lowlives, for Trump.
Listen.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're
He does. What are you telling me? What are you saying?
Did
He's
you
got
see
nothing.
the white one? He goes, oh shit, that guy knows. Did you see the face he made?
Oh, did he? Let me back
Go
up.
back. Look at his face. They're like, yeah, this guy gets it. Look how much they don't want to be here doing this.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, that guy knows.
They lied under oath. Who lied under oath? What are you telling me?
Oh shit.
Traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Yeah, well,
They
did
lied
that.
under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
They're traitors. You got I don't know. I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know.
I understand why you don't do many interviews or are speaking without a script, because you are horrible.
He doesn't know who those guys are.
Yeah,
he knows they're heroes.
He knows.
Where
he
they
was
testify
told,
under
right,
oath?
How to deal with you. They stood there. They didn't have to. And there were other ones in there who probably were in with them a little bit too, and they found a way to get around. Not these guys.
What?
They stood there and fought for us, for you. For you.
Well, they weren't fighting for me.
No, they fought for you, buddy. You're able to stand right here now. They are the true heroes. I'm honored to be with these two heroes today.
He has to read that line.
Former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn and former Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone.
Dunn and Fanone. I want a show of them. That looks great. Look at that big giant Suge Knight
and then so as he leaves, this is how.
Democrats, you are gangsters. You are gangsters. Fuck you.
What?
So
What do you mean
he's a real credit to our city. De Niro, this is from De Niro later joined Trump as a Spy 100. So that there was this magazine called Spy 100's Worst People. They put him, Spy magazine put him on their 100 worst people, along with Trump. They bashed him as a burnout thespian doing the same old shtick. His and Trump's histories would stay weirdly intertwined. This is from Racket News. While Trump was thought of as an infamous hirer of scab construction labor and garnered headlines as president when his administration tried to ban the union's famed inflatable rat, Scabby, De Niro soon after joined the same club. What? A $600 million deal to build the gargantuan Wildflower Film Studio in Astoria earned a visit by Scabby. That's the union has this rat that if you're against the unions, they bring out this inflatable rat called Scabby. They brought him to De Niro's 79th birthday in 2022 when De Niro also chose non-union labor.
What? What are you saying? What are you saying?
What are you telling me? What are you telling me?
What are you telling me?
What is this? What are you saying?
That studio fought for your freedom. It's a hero.
He did the exact thing. Today in downtown New York, Trump and De Niro collided again in a scene that will someday get its own wing in Madame Tussauds Wax Assholes Museum. Imagine going back decades to tell a spy writer that in May 2024, former President Donald Trump not only goes on trial for paying off a porn star who told the world the president's penis looks like a cartoon mushroom, but Bobby De Niro shows up during the closing arguments on behalf of the current president, Joe Biden, to scream, "Fuck you," into a crowd for telling him he's washed up.
See, it doesn't make sense unless there's something else going on to me. That's all. I don't see why he would bother.
Most urbanites guffawed at darts that Spy magazine founder Graydon Carter and Kurt Anderson threw at Trump in the 80s. But when skewers of the rich and famous at Spy magazine became flatterers of high society at Vanity Fair, they became the same snobs that they once deflated.
Yeah. Well, he did get threatened by Jeffrey Epstein, Graydon Carter, remember?
Did he?
Part of the doc. Yeah, he had a thing on Epstein, got threatened, and he was a good boy.
New York's smart set is now overpopulated by windbags like Robert De Niro, who believe they have a monopoly on right opinion and talk unironically about who should be allowed in my city. You just heard him do it. Bret Easton Ellis satirized upscale New York's mania for correctitude via the interminable American Psycho arguments over the right haircut or business card font. Now politics is the fashion. Everyone wears the same brand, and if you don't like it, fuck you. And just so you know, De Niro held questioned in Paris over a vice ring. The American actor Robert De Niro was arrested by the French vice squad at the Bristol Hotel in Paris yesterday and held for questioning. That's the Irish Times. That's from 1998.
Yeah.
They questioned him for 9 hours. His name was on a list of people visiting the prostitutes, and they had underage prostitutes as part of that ring.
Well, they knew nothing. There was nothing. You know how the cops let you go a mere 9 hours later?
A mere 9 hours later. So Robert De Niro's out of his fucking mind. That is a psychotic break.
No, it's not. He's black.
Do you think you say he's being blackmailed to do this?
You can't even get to a point without being like that. You just can't. You get caught.
Keith Olbermann, Cenk Uygur. You think they're exactly the same?
Actor, not two losers.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay.
Oh
I was just hoping the whole time that he was being heckled by the hecklers that De Niro would say, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" That would have been great. That
Keith
would have been
Olbermann's
funny.
a freelance loser. I forget the other name now. Oh, the name that we can't say or it's racist.
His final performance is just some hostile guy hating the regular people who live in New York City.
Yeah.
It's like he's become Travis Bickle.
Yeah. One day a rain's gonna wash this down clean. He is.
That's amazing. Okay, over to Steph.
If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
At this time, more than any other time, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, the babies that have been murdered, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, money poor people. This government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. We don't really know what war is. For black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison, but they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators. And they're going to have riots on their hands. They're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. We have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, what we need, what needs to be done. And, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, this system and those backing the officials running the system, want people to believe that revolution means violence, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. When people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. They get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. Every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. Men, women, and children were murdered. And not just MOVE babies. What about all of the young men, women, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, by drug pushers? I mean, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, making a quick buck, I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. How long are people going to sit back and beg, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit